We'll go ahead and drop the link too. Visit HTTP. It got to be HTTPS?
We're going to say something about it earlier.
Yeah. Put it outside.
And go out.
Yeah.
I'm doing blind.
Okay. Go ahead and drop the link too. Yeah, well, did I be HTTPS? Huh?
I'm not in blind. I'm not in.
I mean, is it on here? Is it people can see this?
No, I don't think so.
I'm gonna need you to know.
I'm about to go live right there.
Wait, don't do it. I don't like when you put us on live so that I have to start being and we're still getting on. Stop doing that. Wait till we're really ready. You did that like the last 2 times.
You might be on right now.
It says podcast. Practice mode only.
But it's live on YouTube though. That's what it says right there.
Why'd you do that? This man always putting us on live. We don't even know we on live. Can you stop doing that? There's 8 watching now. What's up, YouTube? Y'all hear us? I'm over here getting on him. Can you stop doing that? He do it all the time.
One more time.
Come on. And you need to fix this little feedback.
Give us 1 second, y'all.
I don't understand why you do this. But why do you put us on? And we're not ready yet. Yeah, y'all are seeing all our stuff today. I don't understand why you do that. Ugh.
Let's breathe, man.
Why you do that? Just hold on before you push the button. Sorry, y'all. We coming. How y'all doing this? Some of what? I don't understand. No, I need to know why you keep. All right. Always, we gonna be ready, and you always put us on where we doing this stuff, and we on.
People like.
I don't care.
Appreciate.
Now he telling me y'all look. We had more people watching. It's gone down. How about that?
It fluctuates throughout though.
It fluctuates. I'm just saying. Y'all let me know. He talking about something. It's all good. People like to see us get ready. No, y'all
You're
don't.
saying a bunch of nonsense.
Hey, let's shoot. Make no sense. All right, you got the song up, man?
Let me go ahead and get it up.
Oh, you put us on and we don't have nothing up.
You're right.
Gosh, it's so annoying to me.
Let's see, why is yours?
This is not the time for that because you got people on, boo. So come on.
How yours?
Y'all, I'm sorry. Y'all see me in all of my fullness, the fullness of the situation. I don't know what's wrong.
I understand why.
Just do it straight up, boo, because it's not. Just do it standing straight up there. Oh, there we. Oh no, that's not. Just do it because it's not going to come across correctly. We won't have time to keep waiting.
I can't do it straight up there.
You can't stand it up?
No.
Yes, you can. You have to do it. Go ahead and do the song.
We're gonna have to switch phone.
No, you're not. Could you do the song, please? I'm about to get me on with the people tonight. I'm about to be irritated.
Tell me about that.
I'm about to be irritated tonight. Tonight we are talking about 7 ways that you.
Really,
can you
girl?
do the song?
Really?
Yeah, because you not.
Really?
I'm trying to get us going. Don't worry about it. This is what you did. You did it like this. We could have had time. Could you focus on that?
You need to do that right there. You need to
all right, like you say. Okay, my boo.
Put the title in.
All right, sweetheart. I got you. 7 ways, guys. 7 ways. Not 7 ways. 7 things that you say that are messing up your marriage. You may be married and watching this. You may be in a relationship, or maybe you're not in a relationship, but you're interested in these things. And I'm telling you right now that when you say these things, when you do not monitor your words, that you give more damage to the relationship than you give anything else. There's so much time that has to pass to heal what you have now done in the relationship. All right. So we are we are now on YouTube. We're now on YouTube, Zoom.
We're on Zoom.
Can you do this? You do.
Okay, hold on.
You don't.
I got this.
No, boo.
I got this, boo. No, I got this.
You said this is not finished. Can you do this before you start that?
Yeah.
Okay, I will push play.
Just gotta hit the skip.
Go ahead. Lord have mercy tonight. Lord have mercy. Really, boo? Yeah. This is why I can't trust you with this stuff. Yeah. This is why I'm about to just get up out
Turn
this
it
night. It's not on yet.
Oh.
We're not even live yet.
We are live.
We're not live on
We
every platform.
live on Zoom and YouTube.
Yes, what's going on, folks? Y'all come on in the room. Just come on in the room, and while you're coming in, I want you to go ahead and make sure that you are serious, that you come prepared this evening. Come prepared this evening. I'm going ahead and go on live here on Facebook. We appreciate your patience for those of you who have been watching already for a few minutes. But as you come in the room, I want you to be clear that when we come before you on Thursday nights, we're serious about making sure that what you receive from us is solid, is quality, you know, that you can really get some good information. And so tonight, we are really going to be telling you some things about your mouth. I see you coming on in the room. What's going on? I see
What's up,
you
YouTube?
guys.
What's up, Facebook?
Okay, so let's just go ahead and keep it real, because here we go. Every time I give my husband,
we need to make sure that they can hear this.
Oh, really?
Y'all hear
This you failed twice now.
Why you say I failed?
This is it, y'all.
Why you say I failed?
We grooving this evening as we get ready to talk about the mouth and how our mouths mess us up, y'all. This is the song my husband chose. How many people feeling this out? Who's feeling this right now? It's too slow. I mean, twice you got this.
Let's cruise, baby.
You put me to sleep.
Really? I'm seeing the hearts down there. People love Smokey.
No, come on now. I don't think he was born in 1970.
Yes.
I think he was born in 1950.
Yeah.
I mean, I do. Why don't you just tell me the truth?
Let me know if y'all like this song.
Y'all feeling this? Really, Sakina gonna say that's my jam.
That's my jam. That's what I'm talking about.
Hold it up.
You a little bit too.
Oh, y'all want to give him hearts now?
That's what I'm talking about. You got groove, boo.
Yeah,
you got groove with it.
I mean, I'm a 90, I'm an 80s, 90s. I was born in 77,
turned
40 this year,
boo.
Guys. But I'm like 80s and 90s music.
You can make a lot of magic to this music.
And this is an old song right here. I'm not saying
make a lot of magic. Yeah.
I mean, I just don't understand.
But babe, just listen to the words. I love it when you're cruising together, baby. No. I love it when it's just me and you.
Yeah.
Music is made for that.
Thank you, Gardner.
Yeah.
It's cold, but last week was better. I'm feeling you, Gardner. It was.
No.
That's right here. That's stuff he be doing. This is so
baby,
slow and sleepy. Tell me this ain't slow and sleepy, y'all.
This is the jam right here.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Nah. I'm gonna go back to like one of the first ones that we did.
I'm seeing people over here on YouTube saying yes.
Oh, don't even try.
Same. Love it.
No.
That's what I'm talking about. You need to give it the program.
No. So some of y'all gonna be like, y'all played this song last time. I mean, not last time. You played it before. But I'm just had to go to.
Really, Joe?
Yeah, I can't take it. I just can't take it.
Come on, man. You like playing this song out?
I'm not, because they only heard it one time. Okay. They only heard it one time.
I bet you they can guess.
This is
people saying good vibration music.
Song.
This is the jam. I mean, really? You just interrupted the vibe.
Okay, but what about this one?
Yeah, I like the D'Angelo version too.
What about this? Hold up. What about this one? Hold up.
How many times are we gonna do this though?
I want to know. Are you feeling it? Hold up. Don't act like you can't move.
I like the song, but what I'm saying is that like you just messed up my cruising vibe.
Because that thing was blowing me. How many of y'all feel this song right here? Come on, get some hearts. Thank you.
I mean, you can like both.
Yes.
I'm gonna need you to step up your music game though. You want to get another song, all right?
I play the song like
you want to play the same song
3 times a week.
You get diverse in your music choice.
You talking about the words? Thank you for the heart, y'all.
Sorry, Smokey was better.
Oh, come on,
Smokey was better. Thank you. Smokey was better.
What up? You gonna say smile? Oh, Smokey.
Yeah.
Come on now. It's getting personal, y'all. Hey, Marco. Let's stay for a while. Oh, come on,
somebody say, yeah, that's better.
Yes, it is. Come on, because what are they talking about? Hold up, listen real quick. We're going to get started. What are they talking about, y'all? Giving you the best of me.
Somebody say, we want Smokey. We want Smokey.
Devontae. I want you to bring it there. He laughing because he don't mean it for real.
You're talking about I like the first one.
What?
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, my goodness.
You know what I'm saying? I mean...
Come on, y'all, giving you the best of me.
All right, baby, you ready to go ahead and transition?
Okay, all right, yeah.
Hold on, yeah, you're right, though. Devontae, both are great.
Yeah, okay. If you want to say that.
Yeah, come on now, Cruising, that's a classic.
It is a classic. It's just, and this time was just before my time. I'm just saying. All right. Let's go ahead and get started, y'all. All right. So, guys, you have joined us this evening, and you have joined us because you see the title. We're talking about your mouth.
Yeah.
And I just want to go ahead and put it out here right now. Oh, wait a minute. No, you need your mouth like this on the dance floor. All right, y'all. So look. Okay, so here we are, guys. So look, we're talking about 7 ways that your mouth is messing up your marriage.
Straight absolute. It's the absolute. I see you, Evie. It's the absolute.
7
What you
statements.
sipping tonight?
All right, 7 statements that you say that are messing up your marriage. 7 things you say. And so many of us are not very accountable for what we say. We think that we can hold our partner accountable for the things that they say, but when somebody reflects back to us like, oh, yo, that was messed up. You can't say that. How can you say that to me? We all of a sudden just get like, well, it's not that serious, or it's just the truth, or I really need to let you know some things, and sometimes the truth hurts. And the reality is that the power that you have to influence your partner, the power that you have to influence your marriage, the power that you have to push things in the right direction by how you speak to your partner and what you say is enormous.
Absolutely.
And so many people, is this not right? I just put a question out not that long ago on Facebook talking about, what are the major issues? What are the major issues that people are dealing with and struggling with in relationships? Whether you got one now, or you got one that's coming to you. What is it? And people say communication. We just can't seem to meet. We can't seem to get eye to eye. So tonight we want to take you through. What did I do? It's over there. Can you go get it? No, you can't get it. I want to take you through some things that you do not realize that you're saying. You think that they are slight. You think that they're not a big deal, and they're a big deal. How many of you here this evening have been hurt by some words that your boo said? I just want to know, have you ever been hurt by some words that your boo said? Or are you just so like, you so hardcore that it just don't, it don't affect you like that? Words don't really hurt you. Sticks and stones may break your bones, but words don't hurt you. So I see a few people wanting to be honest this evening and say, yes, there's been some things that people have said that have stayed with me, that have resonated with me. And you know what's really bad sometimes is when the person says something and there is some truth to it. Well, oh my goodness, there's some truth to it. And you're like, dang, they came for me like that, right? And you can't even receive it because how dare they? How dare they turn things around, right? And use some things that actually has some accuracy. But before we move forward this evening, I don't think that we did a proper introduction.
Yeah.
Who are you?
My name is Ayize Ma'at. We don't normally do it like that, though.
Okay.
I normally introduce you.
Okay, go ahead, Boo.
This right here is my beautiful wife, Fiona Ma'at.
And this right here is my baby, my sweetheart, my husband, my lover, my protector, my everything, Ayize Ma'at. And so for those of you who are joining us for the first time this evening, we are both licensed therapists. We are relationship coaches, and we love doing what we do. We don't just do what we've been trained to do. We do what we live out every single day.
Absolutely.
Being in relationship as a couple with 5 kids, making it do what it do. Well, Lord have mercy. Every time I say 5, I say, is that my life? Yep. Jaisha, yep, it is. It is. I just want to know for a second, what's up, Tammy, where you all are. Just go ahead and drop for me right here. Drop for me where you're from. Where are you watching from? I want to know that really quickly. And while you are watching, I want you to make sure that you share this with whomever you think you need to share it with.
Absolutely.
Go ahead and share it on your page. Go ahead and tag somebody. Let folks know we're talking about communication this evening.
Yeah.
And if you think that you got it together, guess what? You can have it together with most people. You can, actually be a pretty smooth communicator. I've witnessed this, particularly in our field. If you're in the mental health field, I think I saw Tiffany on a little bit earlier, and Middle River, Maryland. Middle River, I will never forget that. Latoya representing from Middle River, Michigan, Jacksonville, North Carolina, DC. Erska, I didn't know you were in DC. All right, you're in the DMV. And Jaisha's from Miami. We got Philly in the house. Wow, we got people from everywhere. So Florida, I wish I was where you are because I know it feels a little better there. But what I just said a second ago is I saw a former coworker on. All right, there she is, Tiffany, representing Maryland. Maryland. So look, you know, you can be a really good communicator because usually people who are in the helping field, and there may be some other fields that really require excellent communication, especially when you're dealing with people, you know how to do it. You know how to talk to people. You know how to use your tone. You know how to get your message across, how to be able to de-escalate someone a little bit, right? You know how to do it. But when it's in your life, when it's in your world, either you have one of two problems. Either you don't know how to get your message across because you just coming with the wrong rah-rah, or you become a mute.
Yeah.
Which one would you say you've been in the past?
Really?
I was just curious.
Really?
Just curious, which one have you been a mute?
I've been the rah-rah one.
Or do y'all really believe this man been the rah-rah one? Really? No. This man right here is like this. Quiet, I ain't saying nothing. And I have, you know, been a little rah-rah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit?
Just a little bit.
Really?
Just a little bit.
Okay.
And so we have learned some things, but we wanted to make it specific because sometimes when you talk in theory, you know, you kind of keep it philosophical, then it's hard for you to really catch. But we want to give you some specific things on this evening that you need to stop saying because you are messing up your relationship. So we're going to get started, but I know that you want to say this real quick. Go ahead and let them know real quick because... Oh, you don't want to let them know?
I mean, I got something I want to say, but I don't know what you're
talking about. Okay, well, go ahead. I don't know.
Okay. Now, I just wanted to lift up, earlier you said that, you know, your relationship basically can shape, in terms of what it is that you say, can shape you as an individual, whether or not you're willing to stay in a relationship, whether or not you want to step out. It's important to know that your words have power. Your words definitely have influence. I remember early on, prior to you, baby, and I think I may have mentioned this to you before, but prior to you, this was a long time. We've been together for 22 years now. But prior to you,
I'm gonna need you to know. You asking for 22, baby? You
prior to you, I was in a relationship with a young girl, and you know, she said something to me. I was real big into basketball back in the day, playing high school basketball, college basketball, and you know, this girl, she said to me, she said, "Is that all you can do? Is play basketball? What about the state of our people? What about the plight that we as African Americans are going through? Where's your knowledge around that?" And so I really felt dumb when she said that to me, because pretty much all I did was focus on basketball. Morning, afternoon, evening, basketball, basketball, basketball. So when it came to you know, just people were dealing with, I was totally clueless. And so when she said that to me, it actually forced me to pick up a book, Fire in My Bones, and to read that book just to get some education. And so it impacted me in such a way where I was hurt. I felt dumb. I felt stupid. I was hurt, but I was also inspired too, to do a little bit more research and to understand who we are as a people and just what our contribution has been to the society. So from there, I went to Stolen Legacy, and that was a profound and very powerful piece that I learned about ancient Egypt. But again, it's your words definitely have power. So ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you're being mindful about what you're saying to your partner, because it can impact them in a positive as well as negative way.
Yes. We don't recognize that we have that much power most of the time. And so oftentimes when we're saying things that are negative or that are not helpful, it's because we feel powerless. So just recognize that first principle. Write that down. If you have a pen or a pad or pen and a pad, write it down. Most of the times the things that we say out of frustration and out of anger, it's because we feel powerless and we don't feel like we're being heard, or we don't feel like we're getting the results that we want, or we are scared or whatever, right? And so then we say something to try to get some power, and we don't recognize that we already are powerful. We already have the ability to make an impact on somebody. And if we don't have that sense of awareness within ourselves, we certainly cannot communicate with another person who may not just kind of roll over and get with what you're talking about. They may challenge you. They may say like, "No, I'm not feeling that. That was good, but that's not accurate." And you'd be like, "What?" You know, and then that just makes you mad, you know? And so we got to realize that it really requires a sense of self, a good sense of self, to be able to communicate. All right, so here we go, guys. We're going with number one. Y'all ready for number one? Let me know if you're ready for number one. This is not the number one thing, but this is the number one thing we're telling you this evening about what you say that messes up your marriage or your relationship. The first one, baby, I know you want to take this one. You said
number one, y'all. Number one. And you're gonna be surprised at this one, but number one is really something that's simple, and it occurs in the onset of your relationship, or actually your marriage. Number one, the words that you say that are impacting or negatively impacting your relationship, for some of y'all, is simply "I do." Yes, I do. Some of y'all don't need to be married. Some of y'all don't need to be in the relationships that you're in right now. And some of y'all have, unfortunately, based off of societal expectations, made the decision to jump the broom and engage in this relationship. You know, good goddamn well, you don't need to be married to the person that you're in a relationship with. So what I'm gonna say is that number one is you said I do, and you really should have said I don't. And that's problematic when you choose to be in a relationship that you know is not the right relationship for you. Now, of course, relationships can develop, they can grow, they can mature, but the reality is that some of y'all, and maybe your partner ain't willing to do the work. But you said I do, knowing that they wasn't willing to do the work. So you got to look at yourself and ask yourself the question, what need am I trying to get met in this relationship that I need to be meeting on my own? Again, I do, saying I do prematurely, saying I do when you know you should not be saying I do is a problem when it comes to relationships.
And it's not just for married folks. So many of you are in a relationship and you're like, he ain't really the one. She ain't really for me, right? They're not like-minded. They're not for you, but you're in the relationship because you know what? I need somebody to spend time with though. I need somebody to sit on the couch with and, watch a movie with. Yeah. You know, how many of y'all like, but I want somebody to go out with.
Trying Netflix and chill.
You know what I mean? Right. And some of y'all y'all want a little right. And so I'm just gonna leave it at that, a little And so, you don't want to get out of the relationship, but you will not make room for another person. You will not allow yourself to attract the person that you really are supposed to be with. If you are saying I do, you are saying yes and showing up in places that you have no business being. Well, I just said that. All right, number 2. Here is one. Don't say this, y'all. How many of y'all have said or has someone say to you in the middle of your talking, you about to say something, they say, don't start. Don't start. Don't start. Don't go there. First of all, second of all, and third of all, you might not think that it's a big deal. I'm letting you know right now. Write it down. Do not say that to your partner. Why, you ask? Because it's demeaning. Because when you do that, what you don't realize is that you're talking to them like they are a child. You are giving them a direction and talking to them as if they're not a grown-ass adult. So when you say don't start, you automatically just cut down whatever it is you think they get ready to do. You already have let them know, I already know where you're getting ready to go. I'm telling you where you're going. I ain't going there. I don't want to hear it. And so what you need to do, even if that person is challenging you, even if you already know, like, no, you're about to do this, complaining again about the same issue. And let's just say that they really are kind of like struggling. And they keep doing the same thing, talking the same stuff, and you know it's not productive. How is it helpful for you to say don't start? Has that ever given you a proper response? Has anyone ever said to you, oh, thank you for that? Maybe once in a while, maybe somebody's really evolved and they were like, oh, okay, thank you for that prompt. Most people is like, excuse me, what? Or they shut down and they're not trying to listen to you. So what is it that you can say instead of don't start or don't even go there? I'm not trying to hear that. You can say this, what can I do? What can I do to make things better? That's what you can ask. Instead of giving that, what can I do to make things better? What is it that I can do to help you in this situation? Not in a condescending way, not in a blaming way, not in a, I'm just saying this just to be going through the motions type of way, but in a way that lets them genuinely know, you know what, this is important to you. So what is it that I can do? What is it? Because probably before now, you have not done that. Because if you're saying don't start, already you have let them know that you are not here for it. You are not here for them. And that is messing up your relationship. Nobody wants to be talked to like that.
Yeah, have any of y'all experienced that? Have you experienced that in your relationship where your woman or your man says, don't start? Pump your brakes, press pause, and it's essentially trying to demean or undermine your presence and your stature in a relationship. Have y'all experienced that?
Regulating the conversation. We will not be talking about that. I'm not going there. We ain't doing that. Why? It's not helpful. It's not helpful and it's not healthy. All right. Number 3. What's number 3, baby?
Number 3, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. You make the decision to tap out of the relationship and you say, I'm leaving, as though you all aren't married, as though you all haven't made a commitment to each other and have agreed to do this thing till death do you part. You make the decision, I'm leaving, because things get a little bit uncomfortable. That ain't the way to go, y'all. When you use those words right there, you actually create a wedge in a relationship, a divide, and sometimes it's almost impossible to cross that thing back over, to get back to where you are in a space of healing. Because when you say I'm leaving, then the person feels some resentment. They emotionally tap out. They make the decision like, you really are kind of temperamental when it comes to this relationship thing. So why should I be fully committed?
Right.
I'm leaving is definitely definitely a problematic point in the relationship. If you're saying that, and some people say that thing ongoing.
Ongoing. Every time you get into a little bit of stress,
I'm done. I'm out.
I'm out.
Deuces.
Or you'll say, maybe you should leave. If you're so unhappy, then why don't you leave? But why are you with me? Right? Going there all the time. Well, do you want to be in this relationship? Why are you going there? Why are you going to that place? Or maybe some of you just say, I think we just need to get a divorce. I just don't know how long I can take this, because I'm ready. We just need to be separated. When you go to that place over and over again, what you threaten is the stability of your relationship. No relationship can thrive and grow on rocky ground. If I don't know if you're in or you're out, if you're up or you're down, and I cannot rely on you, then I am not going to go to the next level and share with you and give to you and grow with you. It's just a basic principle. So what you have to understand is that you cannot do that to people. What people don't understand is that there are some people who have abandonment issues. Yeah. Anybody here got abandonment issues willing to say that? There's some people who have abandonment issues. They already can tell you like what had happened. Right, this is what happened with my mother, with my father. I see some of y'all giving some love. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I was one of those people, and once you got them, they still sit all up in and through you. So I have done a lot of work personally myself, but at the end of the day, that stuff is still in there. So people have abandonment issues. So for people who come with those types of issues, you are triggering all kind of stuff that you have no idea. You think that you can just say that and keep moving, and the next day, like, hey, boo, no. We got some problems. You understand? We got some problems because fool, you was talking about rolling out. Yeah. And so now I can't trust you. And so now even if I'm chilling and we seem like everything is okay, there is a level of distrust that you have now entered into the relationship. Absolutely. And here's what I really want y'all to know. That for those of us who don't really feel like, many of you feel like, oh, I don't have abandonment issues. That's not me. Going back to childhood, all children go through a process where they have to, for those of you who have kids, where they have to kind of separate from mommy and daddy, right? And there's always this sense, even as an adult, particularly when you get older and you know that your parents are getting older, there's a different kind of separation that goes on, particularly when they are getting ready to transition or they're getting into that place. The bottom line of what I'm trying to say to you is that everybody on some level fears being abandoned. Everybody wants to be connected. Absolutely. And when you move from the house of your mommy and your daddy, whether physically or whether mentally, then you find a new home. And oftentimes, most times, if you're lucky, the new home is the one that you make with your partner, whether physically or whether spiritually, mentally, emotionally. And every time you say, I'm rolling, like I'm done with this, or you roll out and leave for a day, 2 days, don't say nothing, then come back, like that's just a part of your ritual. Man, I'm telling you, you are threatening the stability of your marriage, and you are stunting the growth of your relationship in a very significant way.
Go ahead. That's dealing with this right now. I know y'all know some people that's dealing with this. Share this video right here. Share this live stream. Tell them they need to get on this thing right here ASAP because they dealing with this.
Say, do you see yourself? That's what I like to do. I like to just share and say, do you see yourself? Because everybody should be able to see themselves in some way in what we're sharing tonight. We see ourselves. We see ourselves oftentimes, right? So don't be on this. Don't tell me some people is messed up. If you don't see it, that's a problem in the first place. Well, that is a problem. So that is number whatever. For those of y'all who come on here with us every Thursday night,
Sham was taking count for a second.
We can't keep up with the numbers.
We're going on number 4 now, I think.
Hi, Ida. She's waving. I see you, Ida. Okay, so we're going on number 4. Okay, can I take this one? This one right here is big. I'm gonna do this just to intro this to y'all, okay? When my husband and I were together early on in our marriage, I'm telling y'all, and I am not exaggerating.
What you about to say?
Yeah.
What you about to say? It's like you about to set me up for something.
So look,
I need to brace myself up over here.
No. I'm just saying, I'm not exaggerating. I'm just, the reality is that, you had some issues.
Okay.
I had some issues.
Yes, you did.
Okay, and so for many men and many people, but especially for men, there's a word that's really important.
What's that?
It's the R word. The R word. Anybody know what the R word is? Anybody? Respect. Respect.
Put some respect.
Put some respect on my name. Let me tell you something. Early on in our marriage, this man, I don't care what I was saying. I don't care how I was coming. I don't care what I was doing. This man talking about something. You just be real disrespectful though. He
Mm-hmm.
told me this on a regular.
Yeah.
If we were in conversation
Mm-hmm.
and we were
Mm-hmm.
talking about something, I was saying, I don't
Mm-hmm.
understand why you did it. Didn't he was like, but you're being disrespectful right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
I'm just expressing myself.
Yeah. You gotta know your place, woman.
Come on and correct that for the people. Correct it for the people, please.
You said correct it for the
Correct
people.
it for the people.
I'm just playing, y'all.
So look, y'all, look. So what are we talking about, right? We're talking about 7 things that you say that mess up your marriage, but the heart of this is how are you communicating, right? How are you communicating? And so what he would say to me all the time is, "You real disrespectful though.
Real
The way
disrespectful.
you be talking, the way you
With your
like,
tongue, with
why
your
you,
energy, with all of that.
yeah, and you felt that,
It's just real foul sometimes.
really? You're
Yes.
just feeling it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I remember that time I threw a piece of foil at you
You
in the
threw a
car.
you threw a waffle at me.
No, it's not a
It was a
waffle. It was a
waffle.
piece
Yeah,
of
I remember that.
foil.
I was pissed
Maybe
off.
the waffle was in the foil.
Let's not go
Yeah.
there.
So look, y'all. So at the end of the day, what you cannot say to your partner is, "I just don't respect you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't respect you. I don't have any respect for you." Oh my. I'm talking about how that came across to me, right? Because he would say I was being disrespectful, and I'm talking about that. But when you say to a partner, when you say, "I don't respect you anymore," because I don't like how you handle this situation. If you were a real man, whoop, if you were a real woman, you
Mm.
wouldn't go like that. A real woman doesn't do that. A man who's about his business doesn't get down like that. I don't have respect for you. The moment you said that, you have now betrayed your partner. That
Mm-hmm.
is translated as betrayal by your partner.
Yeah.
Because wait a minute, if we're in a relationship and if we are serious about this relationship that we have, and if we are married, then you must know enough about me to know my intentions and to know my character. And just because I'm doing something that you don't like, or perhaps I'm coming up short, because that's what humans do, doesn't mean that I should have to stand in a place where I lose your respect.
Mm.
My goodness, that just hits somebody at their inner core. So
Mm-hmm.
just know that talking about I don't respect you, now you have fractured them beyond. And it may be something, oftentimes it's something very legitimate that people are complaining about.
Well, I
Like,
mean,
what I'm
one of the
saying?
one,
Like, can you get a job?
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I need you to get a
So
job.
so
But you can't
so
say that. I don't
I mean,
respect you.
people oftentimes expect and only respect the arrival. But what about respecting the process? If you can see
Mm,
your man or even your woman out
yes.
here hustling, out here grinding, out here trying to get theirs, but your only expectation is that they hit a particular mark, that they arrive at a particular place, then you're gonna always be setting yourself up to come up short because again, people got to go through processes to get to where you want them to be. And so do you respect that process? The process don't got to be forever.
Right.
But again, if they're putting one foot in front of the other, are you able to give that person kudos for what it is that they're doing? If you're not, then that's problematic. If you're just saying, I don't respect you because you ain't arrived at the point that I think that you should be at right now, then again, it becomes an issue in a relationship. A lot of men, they want their woman to approve of what it is that they're doing. A lot of men, they want the respect from their woman. And so if you're not giving that to them by acknowledging the effort, then again, what ends up happening is that he becomes resentful and there's a possibility he may shut down. If he's putting one foot in front of the other, applaud that thing, y'all. If you're not
Even if
willing to applaud,
they shaky steps, they might be
then
some
somebody
shaky
else will.
steps.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a part of the process.
Definitely. So I just want to give you a real quick tip. This is how you can, because I'm not saying that any of the stuff we're telling you this evening is easy, but it is necessary, And so particularly for people who are finding themselves frustrated with a partner who's not on their game in some way, who's struggling, who ain't doing what you need them to do, or they're not showing up in the way you need them to show up. It's like, yo, I don't respect them. No, I don't, because this is not who I signed up to be with. This is not, you feel some things at your core. But my husband just talked about giving people some grace, right? Not relaxing your standards, right? But giving people grace to be in the process and allowing them to arrive, and not expecting everybody to be on point and at the point of transformation at all times. Doesn't sound real.
Mm.
But here's the tip. How can you do that? Listen, y'all. This is how you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Do it for yourself. What do I mean by that? People who have a hard time cutting someone else slack, people who have a hard time seeing the goodness in their partner, people who have a hard time being able to acknowledge the places that they have grown and the ways that they try, do not cut themselves any slack. You do not see the places that you have grown. You are very hard on yourself oftentimes. You do not pat your own self on the back. You understand? When you are not able to do that for yourself, you cannot give to somebody else what you don't have. So I tell people all the time, if you find yourself feeling resentful a lot, if you find yourself just kind of in your feelings and being dissatisfied and resonating on this vibe and negativity with your partner, then you need to just get still for a moment and look at yourself and pay attention to, my goodness, look how I've been dealing with this situation. Look how I've been pushing through. Look how I've been finding places and ways to center myself. I have not, I kirked out 2 times this week instead of 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can't do that for yourself, you can't do it for your partner. And so that's what you have to do. Because we're saying our partner, why you want a cookie? I don't get a cookie. Why you want some kudos? I don't get kudos. I'm out here making it happen. You need to go make it happen. Right? I'm struggling. You need to struggle. Why are you chilling? And at the end of the day, the reality is that you have to give to yourself first what you need to give, so that you can give it to somebody else. And that will make it much easier when you have compassion for yourself. And I see y'all talking about too hard on myself. Yes. I know I'm guilty of this. I see you, Ebony. And look, Healthy Living says, I stay in prayer over this thing. Seriously. Yes, you have to, y'all, because if you don't, what you don't realize is that you are evil to yourself. You are mean to yourself, and you are mean to your boo. You just mean. You just mean. You don't. And if you're just doing it to yourself and your boo, that's great. That's not great, but that's better. But what about your kids? Wait, do they catch any grace? Right? Because everybody needs to be on their game 1000% with you, and that's just not the way it works. Cut yourself some slack, and you know find it easier to cut somebody else some slack too.
And this is real talk, y'all. I mean, we work with a number of couples, and we've seen a number of situations where both women and men are just angry all the damn time. Just angry, just frustrated, just unsettled, just unsure, just uncertain, just really grappling with a whole bunch of internal emotions that they can't seem to reconcile, and they seem to find themselves fighting with themselves all the time. And it's really this emotional stuff that's tangled up inside of them that they're trying to figure out. And what it leads them to end up doing is, because they can't figure it out, they end up taking it out on their spouse. They take it out on their children. So, again, like my wife just mentioned, give yourself some grace. Be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. It's imperative that you know that you are also in process, even as your relationship is in process. So give yourself some grace.
Yeah, so I just want to say this really quickly. And then what number are we on, y'all? We on number 5. We're getting ready to do number?
I don't know.
We don't know what number we're on. We don't never know what number we're on.
But let me, can I say this real quick, though?
We got 2 or 3 more, but go ahead.
I just want to give you a kiss and say you're beautiful, baby. I was actually prompted by Gorgeous Gail. Gorgeous Gail said your makeup is beautiful.
Oh, thank you, Gail.
I'm looking at you, and yes, I agree.
Oh, thank you, baby. Gail, you prompted him to say you look cute, boo. Thank you, sister. So look, y'all, we got 2 or 3 more to go, but I want to pause really quickly, particularly for those who may not be able to stay on for the next 15 minutes. This is important because what we're talking about right now is relationship development, how to be in relationship, how to get your communication skills up by first doing some inner work that you have to do on your own. And so I want to tell, many of you all have reached out with us. Many of y'all have reached out to us over the last several weeks, talking about some of the issues that you're dealing with in your own relationships. And so I want to go ahead and put this out here because we just released this today, and I wanted to make sure we said something this evening. We have a great opportunity for many of you, and I don't think we done ever put anything out there this cheap ever.
This cheap?
We really haven't. This inexpensive, right? This inexpensive, not cheap. But we have something that we're really making available because we want to be able to impact as many people as possible. It is for a limited number of people, but we're going to do it more than once. And this is called the Relationship Roundtable. All right. So I want y'all to go ahead and drop that in the comments, Relationship Roundtable. You can find more information at blackloveandmarriage.com/relationship roundtable. And so we're starting the first one next week. We're only going to allow up to 12 participants. And basically what you can do is you can come. It's a one-time event. It's 2 hours for one day in the week and in the evening. Next Wednesday evening at
8.
At 8 o'clock. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring these people together. All y'all come together with us, and we're going to get in the room, right, in the virtual room, and we're going to bring our issues forward. And you're going to be able to get feedback from other people, many of you on this right here, and you're going to be able to get feedback from us.
Hold up, one caveat.
What?
It's only for women this upcoming winter.
Oh yes, only
Only
for
for
women.
women.
Only
I'm
for our
sorry,
sisters.
fellas. Sorry, fellas. It's only for women.
Only for the sisters, right? And how much is that, babe?
It's $37. It would normally be 87, but if you do it within the next 48 hours, it's only 37. So,
Okay.
so again, you need to move on that. Go to blackloveandmarriage.com/relationship roundtable.
All right.
And sign up. Only 12 seats, y'all.
Okay, only 12 seats, guys. And so we will definitely, okay, good. So people say, I'm interested, I'm interested. Okay, good. So we want you to go there because we want to be able to have ways for us to be able to continue this community of people giving each other feedback about things that they're dealing with. So you can get some action items. You can say, okay, what can I do differently? We want that to continue. Okay, so again, Black Love and
Yeah, we
Marriage.
said virtual.
Wait, say
Blackloveandmarriage.com.
you've
I'm
been
sorry,
doing
I'm
a
just
lot of cut.
responding to the
I'm
comment.
just
I'm
saying.
responding to the comment.
I know, but okay, I'm gonna demonstrate my relationship skills. You've been cutting me off lots tonight.
Oh yeah, baby.
I know that I talk loud and fast most of the time,
Hey,
but
thank you, Shane.
Bama, you keep this
Call me
thing.
a Bama?
I'm in the middle. I'm talking. Can you let me finish my comment? All right, y'all. So $37. Go ahead and sign up for that. And if the seats go, got to look for the next one, and we may create a wait list as well. All right, so let's move on to the next one. This one is important. Get your pen and paper out. I'm kind of guilty of this one. You might be a little guilty too.
Really?
Yeah. This one right here, you do not say this to your partner, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, Marcel is laughing at us. Okay. All right. Tell him keep laughing. Look, do not say this. You're just like your mother. You are just like your daddy. And you know what? My goodness.
That's normally not a good thing. You just gave me the
mama eye like this. Didn't I tell you stop cutting me off? Okay, baby, I know you want to talk on it. I just want to say this. You don't say that. You're just like your mama. You're just like your daddy. You don't say that when you're in the middle of contention, when you're really trying to kind of, because somebody has probably shared with you that, there's some things about my parent. There's some things about my mother or my father that, have really, really messed me up, right? We've shared some history with each other. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? And now you're going to try to turn around and use that against me, in a moment of maybe vulnerability, in a moment where you're really trying to get me told. And you know what? What makes it worse is when they right. You could be right as I don't know what. Like you are doing the exact same thing that your daddy does. You can be right. Just because you're right doesn't mean you need to say it. You have to ask yourself and you have to be clear. Do you want to be right? Or do you want to be in a relationship? Which one? Pick one. You cannot be both right and in relationship. You have to choose relationship over being right because relationships are about allowing for influence, allowing for ebb and flow, and being able to use your intuition and your perception and all of that stuff to be able to give and take and step back and move forward. And it's not just about being right, y'all. So don't say you just like your mommy. You just like your daddy, especially when my mother got some issues that I'm struggling with, and that, my daddy got some issues I'm struggling with. Why are you looking like that?
I'm just listening.
You listening?
Yeah.
Why are you smiling?
I'm just listening.
You waiting for your turn? Okay. I don't wonder why he's smiling. So anything you want to say on that, baby? I mean,
that's real talk
we've been
right
guilty
there.
of that.
Yeah, we definitely have, and we never say it at the right point in time, or we never say it when it's complimentary. It's always when it's condescending. So I'm looking at some of the comments, and I'm seeing that some people are saying that they do this. They do this intentionally. They do this to throw and strike a blow. And again, that's it's problematic in a relationship. So again, cut that, stop that, just kill that because it doesn't help the relationship at all.
Oh, and I hate this. Somebody said, look, Jay, she said, oh man, I feel bad. That's a low blow. I should stop. But you really should. It is a low blow, y'all. We know when it's a low blow. We know what we're doing, and we just have to stop it. We just have to stop it. Say
that one more time. You say you know when it's a low blow. Do y'all know when y'all are throwing low blows? Do y'all know when y'all are saying things that are actually cutting your partner? Do you know?
Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't.
If you know that you're doing things intentionally to hurt your partner or saying things intentionally to hurt your partner, why do you do it? Why do you do it? I guess the answer would be because you want to hurt your partner. But again, what does that end up? What does that yield in the long run?
I don't think so. Well, I mean,
I'm seeing people say, "Sure do." Yeah, I do it.
Okay, but I also think there's more to it than that. I know for myself.
Sometimes it feels good to just throw a jab. I guess that's what it is. I mean, because I've done this to you.
Oh, you have.
I have. I've thrown,
Then
you
I
know,
get
a
my
little
dukes
jab.
up in that joint. I'll be like, oh, really? Like,
Yeah.
no. Okay. So
You do.
I do though. I'm like, are you coming for me? I'm
Uh-huh.
ready. No, I do think that that's the case. Sometimes we just want to get a jab in, right? We just not in the right place, and we like, we about to have this thing out.
Yeah.
But also, I think also oftentimes it's also because we do not know how to, and we've talked about this before.
Shame said I'm petty.
Emotionally.
I'm laughing at Sham said. Sham said he petty. You know.
I'll sit back and just be quiet. I won't talk anymore.
I'm sorry. I'm having a conversation with the people when I
Look, we don't know how to emotionally regulate ourselves. Okay, we don't know how to regulate ourselves. So sometimes it is about trying to get a jab. Other times it's because we are so frustrated, we are so hurt, we are so upset, we're so angry. And half the time, maybe 75% of the time, the anger doesn't have to do with anything that's going on right there. Some stuff is being kicked up from back in the day, some things that our mommy or our daddy did or the last person did, and we are just triggered all over the place. And so we are not able to regulate ourselves. So that's why we got to stay purposeful in becoming aware of who we are and what our issues are, so that we can just try to be more intentional, and so we can operate in compassion and love and in partnership with our partner, not as an adversary and not as somebody that I gotta get, I don't even know how, so I gotta get my dukes up, you know what I'm saying? Don't laugh at me. I gotta get my dukes up. All right, what's the next
hold on,
one?
let me ask this question really quickly. Have any of y'all out there, not even because of something that your spouse has done, but based off of something that you may have experienced at work, out here in these streets, or wherever it may be, intentionally picked a fight with your partner?
Now they ain't gonna
Has
tell you. They ain't
anybody
gonna tell you on the
intentionally picked a fight with your partner? I mean, you actually said something to irritate your partner because you just wanted to engage your partner. Like, you knew it was kind of petty, you knew it was kind of playful, you knew it was kind of irritating, but at the same time, too, you wanted to do it just to create some element of friction. Have y'all ever done that?
Oh. Thank you, Jessica. Jessica said no. Ain't nobody got time for that. Girl, give me a high five. And you know why he asking you?
Has anybody ever done that? I know I'm not the only one.
You know
I see people
what?
saying, really?
You know.
I have, laugh out loud. Uh-huh.
Really? Somebody said petty
That's
mode.
how most of our arguments
That is
start.
petty mode.
Yeah. But you know what, though?
Hold on. No, let me call you out. Let me call you out. Okay, don't call yourself out. Let me call you out. He asked
sometimes
that because
friction feels so good.
What?
Sometimes the friction feels good.
To go to therapy.
Sometimes the friction feels good.
He does this all the time. This is all the time. And I'm like, why are you doing this on purpose? And he'll like have a little smile like, I'm like, what are you smiling for? Why is this fun to you? Why is this fun? Let me just say this though. I think that's a part of some of his childhood stuff. You kind of like,
I like what Sham said.
The bully. Sometime that friction don't make nobody frisky, Sham. Don't make nobody frisky, okay? Not at all. Not me. I'm like very irritated. But then he tries. Then okay. So you try to then go somewhere else with it. So that might be a little true. But at the end of the day, you need to respect. You need to respect your partner's threshold. And so while some things may be light and easy peasy to you, for your partner, they may be very, very serious. I love Sylvia's question, y'all. We're going to move on to the last one in just a second. But Sylvia said, how do you regulate triggers? Sylvia, that's a loaded question, my sister. First of all, let me just say this. That is not something that can be answered in the context of this right here, because first of all, we have to find out what had happened. Where did these triggers originate? Where did this come from? And then once we figure that thing out, then we've got to be able to study our lives today and see and look for trends and themes for, like, my husband used to tell me back in the day, like, you be getting an attitude and you be kind of coming for people sometimes. And it's like, why you got to be the one always doing it? Why do you have to notice, issues? And what is that about? And so I had to do some work to look at that. And so once you do that, then you can start to pay attention to putting in different responses and really challenging yourself to be present in your emotions and then resisting what comes natural to you. But that's a process that really people do a lot of times in individual work. And we find that in our relationships where we are bumping up against our partner who is triggering us to death. You understand? Triggering us all over the place. So here is the last one for the evening.
Yeah, we from the DMV too. Somebody asked that.
Oh, from the DMV, DC metro area, y'all. The last one for the evening is this. And again, visit blackloveandmarriage.com/roundtable if you want to get in on this next roundtable. We're going to connect with each other, bring forward the issue that you're having, get some feedback, and then get to acting and moving more productively in your relationship.
Only 12 slots.
Okay, so you don't say this. if you don't do this, then I'm going to do this.
Ultimatums.
Ultimatums do not work in relationships. Sometimes we are so frustrated. Okay, Sham. Sham said this is 6, not 7. Sham, you calling us out? Okay, I actually was thinking that was probably the case, but I was just trying to move on. But that's all right. I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna do number 7. Okay, so look, you cannot put ultimatums out. I don't care if you're in a relationship and you're dating and someone is not moving along and you want them to be married to you, and you're like, look, if if I don't receive this by this time, then I'm just gonna be like, if you're gonna do that, then do that. Do whatever it is you need to do for yourself, but you don't need to tell your partner. Okay, you don't need to do that. So giving ultimatums, whether it's around housework, whether it's around how you all manage the finances and the bills, whether it's around how you all deal with the kids, whether it's around how you deal with each other, how you spend quality time. Why is it that we think ultimatums is going to somehow inspire somebody? Sometimes, I'll just be truthful, it might inspire people's behavior to change a little bit in the moment because they're feeling the pressure,
But not
right?
long term. Not
But
long
but
term.
it doesn't, yeah,
Nah.
it never is sustained, right? It's never sustained. And so you want someone who's going to naturally lean into you in the way that you want to, not because you got to, fake me out gun to their head. Who wants that? Right? Because then, if let me just say this, some of y'all might be like, yeah, who wants that? Me? Some people are, yeah, some people are like, yeah, I do kind of want it. That means
It's the accountability.
you are controlling. You are controlling. And so if that is happening and you are controlling, then you need to understand that you have some very serious work to do, because you cannot try to control your relationship. You cannot control other people's feelings and thoughts. You cannot control how they respond to you. You cannot control anything but yourself. And so when you become clear about that, and when you just kind of stand in that, you know what, all I'm accountable for, and 2 is myself, then your partner has room to show up in the way perhaps that you like for them to show up, because they don't feel like you are trying to wrestle them to the ground and get them to do what you want them to do. That just don't work. It doesn't work, does it?
It doesn't. That's really significant too. I mean, because we've encountered a number of couples that we've counseled, and there's always this thing where the woman or the man is trying to influence or control their partner. They're looking for a particular outcome, and they expect their partner to show up a certain way.
It's amazing.
And they try to box them in. One area in particular that I see this in is when it comes to the issue of infidelity. Like, you try to put up these parameters when it comes to preventing your partner from cheating on you. But the reality is that if your partner is going to cheat, they're going to cheat. So regardless of what it is that you decide that you're going to do to try to make it or create a safe space, again, if they're going to cheat, they're going to cheat. So no matter whether or not you have their phone, their passwords, their work emails, their whatever it may
that
be.
stuff is okay when it's been cheating.
Yeah.
I just want to say it's okay
What
for
I'm
you to
saying
have
is
their
it's okay.
passwords.
It's okay to have those things.
Yes, it is.
But what we're speaking about right now is this whole element of control. And so we think that we can create parameters in a relationship to control our partners, but our partners are individuals themselves. And again, they're going to do what they want to do. And so what you want to do is inspire your partner to get on the right track and do what's best for themselves and the relationship. But if they don't do that, and they're just looking out for themselves and not thinking about you, again, you can't do nothing to switch that around.
Yes. Okay, so number 7 is this, y'all. You messing up the kids. You messing up the kids. You keep messing with the kids. Let me tell you something. Don't talk about my kids. And if it's Aiza is coming at me and trying to give me some feedback about the kids, he got to come a certain type of particular way. And if I want to give him some feedback about the kids, I got to come a certain particular type of way. What do I mean by that? It doesn't mean that we cannot give our partners some feedback about how we see them interacting with the kids, whether they spend time with the kids, they too hard on the kids, like all this kind of stuff, right? But our children, right, are our little people who we love so much. And this is, again, another really vulnerable spot. It's kind of like when we say, don't say you just like your mother, you just like your father, right? These are places that are close to the heart. So when you say you are messing up the children, or you're doing this to the children, or I don't know why you would do that to him, right? As if we are doing something intentionally to hurt our children, you are dropping a low blow. A low blow. Because y'all, I don't know if y'all get this from talking with us and hearing from us, whether you are hearing from us in a session, or through a talk, or on live stream, or if you're in shameless plug, The Art of Overcoming with Iana Ma'at here on Facebook. You can go to The Art of Overcoming with Iana Ma'at. You can find it, The Art of Overcoming, and come join us. It's for women only. Anyway, wherever you're hearing us, I don't know where you're hearing us. If you should get this one thing. We're talking about relationships here, and The Art of Overcoming with Iana Ma'at, right? I'm talking about myself myself and about women and all the challenges that we have. He does many things for the brothers, right? And so here it is, y'all. The fundamental bottom line is that we are all works in progress. There is no room for perfection. If I'm struggling to be perfect, I will never be satisfied and I will never be fulfilled within myself or in my relationship. So I love the beauty and the grace that I get in being with a perfectly imperfect man who allows himself to match up with a perfectly imperfect woman. And so when we are dealing with stuff where we see we're messing up with the kids, or we coming incorrect with the in-laws, or we struggling in the community, don't don't beat each other over the head. Don't beat each other over the head. Make room for your partner to be perfectly imperfect and find ways, because you know and they will know when you are coming genuinely. Find ways to connect with their heart, to connect with their soul. And as I said earlier, and then I'll be done, the best way for you to be able to connect with your partner's heart, the best way for you to give them compassion and grace, the best way for you to be able to make room for them is to make room for yourself, to give yourself compassion, to give yourself some grace, to be able to look at what you're doing well, because you cannot give anybody what you do not have. And I will say that over and over again. The work is with us. The work is with us individually. When we work on ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Then and only then can we really give to the relationship what we need to give to the relationship. My. It's it. That's it. I mean, right there, that thing right there made me want to go get my journal right now and write. so,
Yeah.
so guys, for those of you again who are listening, you cannot find it. Did you go to blackloveandmarriage.com forward/relationship roundtable? It's all one word, no spaces, nothing. I'm gonna go to it right now on here to make sure that it is working. So thank you for letting me know that, Vonda. We're going to check that out. Again, we want you all to connect with us so that you can get the help that you want and the help that you need.
Absolutely. So again, go to blackloveandmarriage.com relationship round /relationship roundtable.
And if it's not working at this moment, I'm gonna check it out and fix it. But it should be.
It should be working. But again, this is going to be a group for just 12 women. I'm sorry, fellas. This right here isn't for y'all. This right here is for the women, for the ladies. 12 women. And what we're doing is we're actually giving you an opportunity to share some things that you're going through. And we're going to be discussing those things and processing in a group format. It's a 2-hour time frame that we're going to be doing this. It will ordinarily be $87. But again, for the next 48 hours, it's going to be $37. So go to blackloveandmarriage.com /relationship roundtable. We're going to drop the link inside this Facebook Live, YouTube Live right here. Hurry up and get your seat. 12 spaces available.
And it's working. I'm seeing it. So somebody else, let me know. Again, this is going to be $87 after 48 hours. So if you get it within the next 48 hours, it will be $37. $37 if you get it within the next 48 hours. Guys, this has been beautiful, wonderful, amazing. Every comment that you're leaving, we will go back and look at. We will respond to. So you can go right ahead and drop a comment, drop anything you want to drop. Always drop other ideas that you all have for topics or for things that would be helpful for you, and we will continue to pay attention to those things and work on them.
Yeah, so I'm seeing a couple of questions come in about, what do we have for the men? What do we have for the fellas? So again, we're doing this first one right here. We do have ongoing groups. We're doing this first one right here in terms of this relationship roundtable for the women. And I'm actually thinking about doing it for the fellas too. Now, let me just be real, y'all. When it comes to the men, now we do work with men individually and we work with men when it comes to the couple piece. But what I've seen and what I've noticed is that sometimes men, y'all say y'all want to help, but the reality is that when it comes to actually stepping forward and getting the help, you don't show up.
Sisters be like,
and that's just real talk. The women they do be like, we here. They trying to get the help. And so again, when it comes to the fellas, if you're looking for the help, drop a line, let us know, let me know, and I'll definitely make sure that I include that or create something for you all to participate in.
All right, guys, this has been wonderful. This has been it. This is all we are giving you this evening. 7 things that you say that are messing up your marriage. And you may not have seen yourself in any of the specific statements, but something you heard this evening may have resonated with you. And you actually said, oh, you know what? That's something I need to think about. Whatever it is, pay attention to it. Pay attention to it and do the work that you need to do. I just got to shout out, though, my cousin, Linda Wiley. Where? Hi, cousin. She just said, what's up? I, again, am so grateful for the opportunity that you give us to be able to speak with you about the issues that are important to us and the things that we feel called to talk about and to do as we try to build up and lift up relationships of every kind, but
Mhm.
specifically intimate, loving, committed relationships and marriage, because it is the foundation of everything that is good. If you want a good community, if you want a good world, it starts with two people who are in relationship of all kinds, of all kinds.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, that's it. That's all. We are done.
All
Stop
right,
playing,
y'all.
y'all,
Let's start
and
pushing, y'all.
start pushing.
All right, peace.